The G7 summit. Congressional correspondent Rachel Scott joins me now from Cornwall, England, with all the updates. Rachel, what's on the agenda for today? What are some of the key issues they'll discuss?
The White House is expecting this to be a very productive summit. This is going to be the first time since the pandemic has started that you're going to have the leaders of the world's biggest democracies, the 7 biggest democracies, coming together face to face to really talk about the modern challenges that the globe is facing. So, of course, this is taking place against the backdrop of the pandemic. Expect that to be a focus as countries like the United States and the UK push other world leaders to send vaccines to some of the world's most poorest countries. Also expecting climate change to be an urgent issue that these leaders are going to talk about. We know the UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson is urging other countries to sign the Marshall Plan in order to fight against climate change. And of course, the summit is all leading up to that face-to-face that President Biden is going to have with Russian President Putin. The White House feels like he's going to be heading into that meeting with the wind at his back. But the White House is going to make clear that they want to make sure that the allies are all leading with one voice here to fight against Russia.
And Rachel, vaccine diplomacy has been a big part of Biden's message that America is back. So I know the G7 is now committing to donate 1 billion doses to countries in need. What does that all mean for the global vaccination effort?
It is a big step, but in a lot of ways, it is barely scratching the surface. The WHO, the World Health Organization, estimates that 11 billion vaccines are going to be needed across the entire globe in order to stamp out the pandemic. So this is a start. These leaders are planning to pledge 1 billion vaccines across the globe, again, to some of the world's most poorest countries. Half of that, 500 million, is coming from the United States. And the president here is really trying to lead by example, encouraging other world leaders to do the same and pledge a little bit more in vaccinations.
And Rachel, how significant is this announcement of a global minimum tax of 15%?
This is something that President Biden has been pushing for. So this is pretty much a pretty big win for the White House here. The question is, why does this matter? This is going to make it so that no matter where your company is headquartered across the globe, you would pay the same tax rate. That's really important for the White House here, but still some steps ahead, right? So the G7, the world leaders, can all come together on this. This is going to lay the groundwork and then sort of put the pressure on the G20 and other world leaders to pass and make this sort of a standardized tax rate. And then the next hurdle is going to be back home there in Washington. This is going to have to be passed in Congress before it officially gets locked in, Diane.
And Rachel, Boris Johnson called his first meeting with President Biden a breath of fresh air. Now, this was one of those instances that people were watching closely because they didn't necessarily have the best relationship or best history going into this meeting. So how's all that going so far, and how are other leaders responding to Biden?
Yeah, it's really interesting that he said that. It's just a sharp contrast to what we have seen before. There has been a lot of talk about how this meeting was going to go. Of course, the White House made it clear that the two would be focused on their shared values, but there are a lot of differences between President Biden and Boris Johnson. President Biden has been very critical, first and foremost, of Britain leaving the European Union and how Northern Ireland has been treated in the backlash and in the fallout of Brexit. And he's also made it pretty clear here that he has described him as a clone of Donald Trump, who we know that President Biden is not very particularly fond of here. But leaving that meeting yesterday, the two leaders met for 90 minutes. We heard from Boris Johnson. He called that meeting with Biden a breath of fresh air. So it seems like it went pretty well, off to a good start here, Diane.
And we know the First Lady, Dr. Jill Biden, and Duchess Kate toured a school earlier today. President Biden's also scheduled to meet the Queen later this weekend. So what role is the royal family playing in this summit?
Well, a little bit of trivia here for you, Diane. President Biden is going to be the 13th president to meet with the Queen at a reception a little bit later today. She's going to be hosting some of the world leaders. And then you saw there the First Lady out with Kate, greeting some school children, talking to them as well. And of course, this comes at the backdrop where the royal family is in a lot of the headlines as well. Reporters shouted some questions to Kate, asking if she has spoken with or FaceTimed with the new daughter, Bet of Harry and Meghan. She said no, but that she's looking forward to meeting her one day. So lots happening here, but of course the royal family and the White House and the president, very close ties that have lasted decades, Diane.
All right, Rachel Scott, thank you. And Biden will cap off his trip with a face-to-face showdown with Russian President Vladimir Putin. You can watch our full coverage of the Biden-Putin summit next Wednesday, June 16th, right here on ABC News Live.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.